This is Sigmund Bloom with your Week 14 waiver wire quick hitter. Quarterback, check and see if Taysom Hill is out there. We're going to see if he has to have surgery on his finger. Tua Tagovailoa is on bye this week. He has a tremendous schedule down the stretch. You would be your next pickup if he's out there. Justin Fields may not play this week. However, Chicago has a good enough schedule down the stretch that maybe once the season is lost, they will unleash him, and you can unleash him in your fantasy lineup. Trey Lance, I still have no idea how to calculate whether he's going to play, but if he does, he's going to get Tennessee, Houston, and Atlanta in the fantasy playoffs. Ben Roethlisberger might be the offensive coordinator for the Steelers now, which is, well, better than whenever Matt Canada was, or at least when Ben Roethlisberger is calling his own plays. There's some potential there, and certainly this week against Minnesota, if you're covering Jalen Hurts by, for instance, you may want to look at Ben Roethlisberger if he's out there on the waiver wire. Also seeing at least a flicker of life from Zach Wilson, from Jared Goff, as emergency backups. And if you're playing in two quarterback superflex leagues, Jake Fromm, Davis Mills, maybe Trevor Siemian are going to get starts this week. Now, running back, Rhamondre, Stevenson, Sony, Michel getting their big opportunities with injuries to the starters. Dante Foreman coming back off a bye if he was dropped. These are your top pickups. Any one of the Philadelphia backs. Jordan Howard would be my favorite because of his high ceiling. Kenneth Gainwell's the healthiest. Right now, Boston Scott probably is the starter, depending on how Howard and Sanders' injuries go. Any of them could hit after the Week 14 bye. If you're looking for backups, there's Justin Jackson. Austin Eckler's talking a lot about how banged up he is. He looked banged up against Cincinnati. He also fumbled twice. Semaje, Perine, speaking of Cincinnati, 3-down backup behind Joe Mixon, who also got banged up in that game. And Jeff Wilson, who's banged up himself, but Elijah Mitchell has concussion. Maybe it's Jamycal Hasty that we should be looking at. And we're looking at backup running backs. And you can always cycle through the backups to the backups that are now backups, like Kene, Nwangwu, Mike Boone, and so on. Just make sure you have backup running backs that are one injury away from starting on your bench in the fantasy playoffs. At wide receiver, we're looking at Julio Jones. He's back, folks. I don't know if he's going to play this week, but he's going to be the number one receiver for this team when he's back, for as long as he can stay on the field. If Jefferson's still out there, you want to get him. Likewise with Russell Gage, especially in PPR leagues. Tyler Boyd, the more Joe Burrow struggles, maybe with his finger injury, he's not going to be able to air it out as much. Tyler Boyd prospers in fantasy leagues. KJ Osborn's going to start for as long as Adam Thielen is out. He had a pretty good drive in the loss to Detroit. Speaking of Detroit, Amon-Ra St. Brown, number one target for Jared Goff, out of the slot. If you're looking for some Hail Marys, maybe Jaylen, Guyton, who had a long touchdown, excellent play on a contested ball that Justin Herbert underthrew, and Josh Reynolds reunited, and it feels so good with Jared Goff in Detroit as the downfield receiver. Tight end, it's slim pickings. Tyler Conklin would be your top pickup out there. He's going to be a top 3 target for Kirk Cousins. Maybe in an offense that's going to have to throw the ball more down the stretch as they try to stay alive. And Austin Hooper looks like a good play, maybe just for this week. Baltimore gives up some points to the tight end. David Njoku's on the COVID list, so Austin Hooper could be a main target for Baker Mayfield. Was your waiver wire Week 14 quick hitter, Sigmund Bloom, saying, stay classy.